Okay, well, welcome to our Sunday night Zoom. I'm really excited tonight because I'm really excited for Andria to share. She's been having some amazing team growth this month and last month and the month before. And she has created a culture of silvers on her team where silvers are just popping up everywhere. And that's been really exciting to watch. And even as somebody who's been doing this a long time, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you saying? And to get people to even do events and things like that. So I think some of the things that she shared with me, I'm excited for her to share with all of you. Before we get into that, I just want to say we're only about halfway through the month. There's 2 weeks left. Let's rock the rest of this month. Let's get some team growth. I know that Jane's going to be sharing with her team tonight some of her goals. And so those of you on Jane's team, you got some big goals ahead, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited to see this fall be a huge time of growth as well. And we've got some big, I know Andrea's team's got some big goals ahead, and then as a result, my team, the whole team has some big goals ahead. And so I'm really excited to watch that continue to happen. But I want to encourage you, I know that we've had vacations and everything like that this summer, but I want to encourage you now to start to invest in some daily IPA. If your leader is giving you an opportunity to jump in some IPA groups, definitely do that. That's how you grow. It is how you grow. Daily action is how you grow. And so I want to just challenge you that take advantage of every opportunity to grow, and also use the rest of this month to grow your team. It's really a great time right before people are getting back into schedule, right? School, it's like, I don't know about you, but when my kids have been home all summer before Plexus, and then they went back into the germ infestation, they all got sick, and then I got sick too. So everybody needs these tools to stay healthy going back into the germ pool, right? And so I want to encourage you all to be reaching out. Reach out about back to school specials or whatever it might be. Reach out just about the vitamins, right? Get some new customers. Everything like that. So I just want to encourage you to use this time, because people are thinking about their health right now. They're thinking about their need for energy. They're thinking about their need for focus and everything like that. And we have answers, right? And so I want to encourage you to continue to finish August strong. I definitely have some big goals ahead of me still this month too. So just keep going. So that was one of the things. I'm trying to think if there's any. We are looking at doing at least one more all-team event this month. Have not picked a date yet, so just watch for that. Other than that, we are encouraging smaller team events. So, take your team, your smaller teams, do an event, or get your new person launched on an event, or whatever it might be. Now is the time. Keep it rolling. We got some good momentum. Let's keep it going. So, without further ado, I just wanted to say that little cheerleading thing from the very beginning. And then I want to turn things over to Andria, because I am excited for you all to hear some of the things that she's doing, some of the things she's implemented. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Andria. I should say too, can I just brag a little bit? Just because Wendy has been she's been like, holy buckets. She's like, Andria's team is out recruiting this month all of our rubies and senior rubies. Her team, that senior gold team, is out recruiting all of its team wellnesses, rubies and senior rubies. Like, they're just going gangbusters. So it's really fun to watch. It's like, it's on my 6th level. So 6 levels down. She's got some duplication going, 5 levels down from her, but really exciting to watch. And so I'm excited for you to hear from her tonight.
Thanks, Catherine. I'm learning when people give compliments, you just say thank you and you don't make an excuse for it, right? I'm really bad at that. But I do have to say that it's not just me, it's my awesome team who's been just super coachable and willing to just kind of go along with the flow and what I've been sharing with them to do. So, so I think I'm not going to get into anything about, so we're going to pretend that you have a newbie onboarded, okay? So I'm not going to go through the send, share, invite right now because I think we all kind of know how to do that. So this is more focused on you have a newbie, now what do you do and how do you get them to get newbies, right? So just that duplication and creating silvers. So first off, I think for the last 2 years, because I've been doing Plexus for over 2 years now, I have overcomplicated things. So I don't know how many of you are thinking the same thing, but it's like we just need to not overcomplicate it. And now that I have some systems that are working and they're proving to be working, I just keep doing it, and I'm not going to change it unless, you know, we stall out again. So once you find a system that works for you, just keep duplicating it, and it's gonna, you know, be in your benefit. So I sat down this morning trying to think of, okay, what is it that I'm doing? Because I think I just do it on a natural basis now. So I wrote some notes here, and I'm a script person. So I'm going to share some scripts tonight, and maybe don't feel like you have to write everything down. I think, Catherine, I'll just type it up maybe. And should I put it in the Emerald chat? I don't know, we can talk about it, but I'll just send some of the scripts. Because another piece of not overcomplicating it is being kind of strategic about how and what you say and when you say it too. So just real quick before I go into each specifically, I'm going to talk about the first thing that I do is a welcome after they've joined. Okay, so they picked the welcome pack, they've enrolled as an ambassador, and the first thing that we're going to do, is there some feedback? Okay. Okay. So you have a brand new ambassador, now what? Okay, it's super important, and it's been working really well to keep the excitement going. Just think back when you were brand new, right? You were excited about getting your products, you know, you've been chit-chatting with somebody ongoing, and then what we don't want to happen, and I did this right away, is, yes, I got an ambassador, and then I kind of stall, and I would maybe message them to check in if they got their products. But what you want to do after you bring somebody on board is make sure that you send them a very welcoming onboarding message. And so what I include so that's the first one. I'll get into details in a bit. So a welcoming excitement message. The second thing is a 3-way chat with your sponsor. The third thing is welcoming them on team pages and or chats. The fourth thing is telling them about online Facebook events, not asking them, and I'll go into details about that in a bit. And the fifth thing is follow-up. Okay, so the first one that I mentioned is a welcome message. And you probably all do this. So I'm just going to share my message that I typically send to all my brand new people. All right, so I say, I'm super excited for you and your new Plexus journey. In the next few days, I'm going to be sending you info on the best way to get started on your products for best results. I'll also be adding you to a few Facebook resource pages that will be helpful too, so keep an eye out for those. And I tell them which ones: Positively Pink Team page, Team Wellness Momentum Makers, the Plexus Biz page, and Gut Health and Happiness. So my first message is, you know, of course, starting with excitement, letting them know I'll be sending information and to keep an eye out on resource pages. And I really leave it at that. They maybe enroll one morning and the next day is when I send that message, because what I did terribly wrong right away is I sent way too much information right away. I'd add them to the pages, I'd tag them in this one and that one and the other. Them. So this, I think, has been really important to just do baby steps, one thing at a time, and just kind of giving them a heads up so they know what to look out for in the next few days. So that is step number one. Along with that, so I mentioned in that message that I'm going to send them some information on how to get started. So a few days later, I will do that. I say, hey, your products should be here any day now. Let me know when they come. Here's a guide I'd like you to follow as you get started on the products. We like you to ease into it to help minimize any detox. Have you heard of detox before? So if they know about it, I'm not going to go into detail about it because they already know, right? I used to just, no matter what, send so much information about detox. I'd send them a video. I'd take them in posts, almost like scaring them. Like detox is a scary thing. So if they already know about it, we kind of just move on. But if they don't, this is where I take them in a few posts, or I might send them a video about detox to just lay that out on the table right away. Because I have had a few people, again, a couple years ago, I never talked about detox. I never asked about it. They ended up getting detox. They didn't tell me about it, and they quit and returned their products right away. And so I try and do that pretty early on. And that's during the time that I tell them about how to best get started on their products. So that's my step number 1. My second tip would be 3-way chats. I know we talk about this all the time, but when we've talked about it in the past, it's more using 3-way chats to help people like get interested and to share and to try and get them enrolled. But this is different. So I'm talking about a 3-way chat with your sponsor to just continue the excitement and to keep that third-party validation. And so Catherine is really great about my 3-way chat. So typically what I do is I send something like this. Hey, Susie, super excited for you to get your products. You know, depending on when I send this, I might say they should be coming tomorrow, they've been shipped, or something like that. I wanted to introduce you to my Plexus mentor, Catherine, or my friend Catherine and my Plexus mentor. I don't say upline. I don't get into that lingo because I think it scares them off, especially if they're not somebody that's interested in sharing right away. I just say my friend and Plexus mentor, okay? She was a wealth of knowledge for me when I was just getting started out. So feel free to use this chat with any questions that you may have along the way. I just love her story too. Catherine, do you mind sharing a little bit of your story? And then typically Catherine will share just a bit of her story. And then Catherine's great about asking, okay, what is it that interested you about Plexus? Or what are you looking for with Plexus? So it's just another person to be chit-chatting with and kind of starting that community with them. So that 3-way chat, if you haven't already started one already, and actually a lot of times I've already started one with Catherine, you know, when we've been talking about the products before they enrolled, and then I might, you know, just go into further detail and kind of reintroduce them and connect them again after they've enrolled to keep that excitement going. So 3-way chats. The third thing that I do is I told them that I was going to be adding them to the Facebook pages. And again, a mistake that I made for a long time is I would add them and I would either forget that I added them, or I might just start tagging them on there. And they're like, what the heck are these pages? And so the third step that I do is I do a welcome post. And I think you are all really great at doing this, but just making sure to send a nice warm welcome on there for them with their picture, stating who they are, you know, why you know them, just so they can feel a part of, you know, the community, and people can start commenting on those too. So making sure to welcome on there. Same thing with chats. If it's somebody that you're going to be adding to chats, make sure to welcome them on there too. And then the fourth tip, and this is my favorite, and I think this is what's been a game changer for me and my team getting silvers, and that is telling people about events and not asking about it. So I'm going to read my script. I adjust it once in a while, but honestly, I think it's like magic when you phrase it this way. So I used to say, hey, I don't know, what's just asking, what do you think about doing an event, you can get some or all of your products paid for. So it's like a question. Well, I don't start it out as a question right away. I just say, now that you're an ambassador, you can totally get all or some of your products paid for rather quickly. I'd love to do an online event for you, and all you would need to do is send the invites. I'll get the page up and ready, and my friends and I will do the post. You'll learn a bunch along the way. Let's pick a date. And they rarely say no. I mean, I've had a few people say, you know, the typical, well, I just want to make sure the products work for me first or whatever. But normally when I phrase it this way, it doesn't really even open the door for them to like question it, right? Like if somebody said that to you, it's like, okay, it doesn't sound like I have to do a whole lot of work there. I guess I will. So just making sure that they know that they really don't have to do a whole lot. And you can certainly involve them. Most of the time, once they agree to a date, I do have them get involved in the post, but I don't tell them that right away, just kind of get them to agree to a date first. And so what does that event look like? I think you've all done online launches before, but I'll kind of talk a little bit about how I do it. So I created a template and it has 14 posts. It's a group page that no one has access to, and I could probably add all of you to it, but it's basically post 1 all the way through post 14 and a bunch of different testimonies. So the day that I do the event, I copy and paste it. I'm not like trying to find it throughout all of the different Facebook events that we've had. It's just all in one place. So I think it's just a private group that I created at one point. So that's something you could do, or I could just add you to mine and you could adjust it. So it's, let's see here. Once we pick the date, I set up the page. I let the person know when the page is ready so that they can start the invites. And I am very clear with them not to just simply click invite, 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 invite. And instead of telling them to send a message along with their invite, I don't tell them to do it. I give them an example. And I type it out so that they can copy and paste it and adjust it. So I like spoon feed them along the way. I found that when I would just tell them to send a message, it would be overwhelming for them. Same thing around this time, 2 days before we do the event, I tell them to post on their page about their new journey. And I send them an example. Again, always giving them an example so they have something to do. Otherwise, they're going to say no, or they're going to have a reason to be overwhelmed or nervous about it, and they're just not going to do it. So depending on what it is that they were looking for with Plexus, I have just a variety of different examples that I send out. So that's been really important. I tell them the importance of posting on their page a few days before the event or the day of, because it gets more people interested. And if they've already invited somebody to it, it intrigues them more. Or they might have somebody comment or like it, and it's a great open door for them to say, hey, thanks for liking my post. I'm having an event tonight. Would love to send you an invite, something like that. So I think timing of it is really good. And so I've kind of been strategic in when I tell people to do their first post. I used to tell them to do it right away, like within the first couple days, and I think that was too early. It was, so it just seems to go really well with the whole doing an event thing, and it sparks more interest with people that are liking it and commenting on it. So my event, we do testimonies the first few days before the event, and then the event is all product information, and I'm sure you've all seen. We've been doing those events for a while now. What else do I want to say about that? The day of the event, I send them a message, just, I'm excited for your event tonight. I see you have quite a few people attending, a few maybes. Now is a good time throughout the day to just send friendly reminders of the event. Or if there's a few people that that you would really like to hop on the event and they haven't responded yet, send them a text message, give them a call, or send them a message. And I give them an example. Again, just lots of examples, type it out so they can simply copy and paste it or adjust it. So I don't just stop at telling them to do it, I send them an example. Let's see what else. So then we have the event, and what's most important after the event is follow-up, and we all know that follow-up is super important, but they're brand new. They don't really know how to follow up. They're scared to follow up. They just did an event and they have people asking questions and they're like, now what? I make sure that they know to use me or their sponsor or both of us, depending on how low they are or how far down they are, to use us, three-way chats again, so that they are not feeling like they have to answer all the questions. So making sure you're really clear with them about that right away. and then giving them examples of how to follow up after the event. So I send them example messages, follow-up messages. Let's see. I think, yeah, so the main message throughout all of this is I'm spoon feeding them, right? I'm not just having them do it on their own. It may feel like a lot of work right away, and it kind of does right away, but it pays off in the end, because what you're doing for them, they can easily do for their people. And I don't know if Amy's on here tonight. I can't see. Yeah, she sent me a message, and I'm sorry I didn't respond yet, Amy, but she, thanked me for all the support that I've been giving to her along the way in these last few. I mean, Amy's been doing awesome this month. She's been duplicating as well. I've barely been helping her, and she knows I'm here to help. She knows Melissa is here to help, but I think because we've made it so simple, and she's just kind of doing what we've been doing, it's like a trickle down effect. I don't know. So up front, it feels like a lot. It really does when you're trying to send out all those messages, but save them somewhere. I have them saved on my template. I have them saved in my phone. So it's not like I'm retyping that up every time. I copy paste it. Here's an example. Have your new ambassador send follow-up messages like this, or whatever. Just doing that spoon feeding so that they feel like it's doable. Otherwise, they're not going to do it. It's going to be too much. They're going to get overwhelmed, and then you're going to lose their excitement. So you just gotta keep that excitement going and make it doable and easy for them. So yeah, just to recap, number 1, welcome on how to get started and keeping that excitement. 2, 3-way chat with sponsor. 3, welcome posts on the team page, getting them engaged on there and maybe tagging them in a few, not a million of them like I used to do. And number 4, telling them about Facebook events, agreeing to a date, doing the event, and 5th, follow up and making sure that you keep doing that 3-way chat and over and over and over again, all the same processes. So that is, I don't know, that's what I've been doing. It's been working well, but again, it's not just me doing it. My team has been super coachable, and they have kind of been doing everything I've been doing as well. So, and it's been working well.
Yeah, it's been super fun to watch. I'm like, so yeah, because even today, I know there were a few 3-way chats that I'm in with Andria, and she was at they've started their products, and she was following up with that message. And so it's been really fun to watch and learn from. I'm like, she's so good at systems. Simple systems is where I see some of your strength. I mean, there's even been times before this where I've been like, do you have this saved to your phone? Because I know she does that, so it's been really fun to watch, because everybody has their different strengths. And I definitely think some of your systems and the way that your brain works that way is a strength on our team. So I'm really excited for people to see that and to implement it. And when you think about it, a lot of what she's doing is exactly what they've been telling us to do, right? Is this, even the send, share, invite is very simple, and that's the idea. And I even caught myself, I'm working with a level 1 to get her first level 1, and I caught myself like trying to revert back to explaining everything, and then I'm like, nope, I just found a really good video. There's a great, if somebody asks you the question, which slim, what's the difference between the slims and which one should I do? And if they're on Gut Health and Happiness, there's a great one by Jessica Hugendorn on there, and it's only a few minutes long. So I've been trying to kind of use those rather than, again, if I'm the expert, then people feel like they have to learn it all, right? But if you show them, hey, here's a video, boy, that's so much easier. So yeah, that was all very good stuff. Would love to see some of that. I don't know, trying to think, Andria, where the best place to put it, whether it would be in our team page I know there's ways that you can put files in your team page. I have to look into that, and maybe we'll do something like that. And then you could also put the document in the Emerald Bound post or chat. So the other thing I just want to reiterate is that power of the three-way chat is so, so important, because even like all these new people joining, it feels like it could be overwhelming, but because I'm plugged into, like I'm in some four-way chats, I think, a few of your levels down. And so I really feel like I'm getting to know your team rather quickly. And then they have, you know, they have both of us cheering them on and encouraging them to keep going or whatever it might be, you know? And so that's so powerful. If you're not using three-way chats with your sponsor, do it, do it, do it. Because if you're trying to, like Andrea said too, don't ask, I mean, if you say, oh, can I put you in a three-way chat with my upline, again, scary word, even sponsors, a little bit scary, you know, or I can't, or maybe they don't know what sponsor means, but you could say my friend and mentor, that makes sense. Everybody knows that a mentor, right? That would work. I think sponsor would probably be fine too, but if you ask, they might be like, oh, I'm scared to meet somebody new. But if you say, hey, I'm putting you in a chat with my friend, Catherine, I'm excited for you to hear her story, like Andrea said. I just can't stress that enough. If you're not doing that, if you feel like you want to protect your people, then you're doing them a disservice. I can't stress that enough, because you're not giving them another line of support. You're not exposing them to somebody who's been successful in the business so that they can see themselves doing the same thing. It's all with the vision casting and the dream casting and everything like that. It's so powerful. So definitely do that. So good, such good stuff. I'm seeing some stuff on the chat here.
I'm going to add in real quick too, Catherine, along the lines with the three-way chats. There have been times where it's like we've duplicated so quickly that like my newbies aren't necessarily, they don't know answers to some of the questions yet either. And so that's why, you know, sometimes we have 4 people in a chat, because, for example, my newbie might have added her sponsor, but her sponsor's new, so then they added me, right? And so it's okay to have, you know, 4 people in a chat. It doesn't have to be a 3-way, but just get somebody in the chat that has, you know, been doing Plexus for a while and can start answering questions and you know, sharing that excitement with them. And then whoever is underneath you or underneath them will just learn along the way. That's my favorite part of it. Like, we're just basically teaching everybody in that chat how to do this when they bring somebody on board. And I think that's why it's so important that we keep things simple, because if we sound like the expert all the time and we're constantly sending all the information and not using those tools and the videos that we have, they're going to be like, well, how the heck can I do what Andrea is doing? Like, you've been doing this for 2 years. Of course, you know this, that, and the other thing about all the products. And it's like, number one, that's not true. But number two, it comes across that way. And so just keeping it simple as much as possible. So yeah, just that we're teachers basically is what I feel sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even like the other day after I did an event, one of her attendees messaged me. So they bypassed my level 1 and they went straight to me and asked me a question. So what did I do? I added my level 1 into that chat, who did not know the answer to that question, you know, and just, I'm like, hey, I invited Kristen into here so that she can also learn as we go, because she's new, you know. So if they do that too, just make sure that, because that's how you keep your new person in the loop, so that you are teaching them those things. So you also don't want to do this like going to the top and missing a person type of thing. So yeah, such a good stuff, Andrea. Really fun. Yeah, and some of this, your team is just, Melissa and Amy are a powerful duo. They're both on here. It's been really fun to watch them fly. Super exciting. Silver's popping up everywhere. So really fun. Okay, well, I think that we have like 8 minutes left. Does anybody have any questions for Andrea or myself? Either one.
I saw somebody asking about sending it, so Catherine and I will just have to chat. I'll type up most of my scripts are already written up, so I can do that.
Yeah. You're going to be, I'm not sure if it's Brooke or if it's Emily that's the script queen. I know they have some scripts that they've talked about. You're going to be our script queen. So, but, yeah. Anybody else have some questions or?
I want to put in a plug for this whole duplication and creating silvers, how quickly you could still earn Leaders Retreat, if not Leaders Retreat, the $500. So, and just know that your points are not going to be reflected this month. So if you get silvers, it's not going to show in your points. So whatever you have right now, if you have new silvers, that's not included in those points. I think some people were not aware of that. So we don't know how long Leaders Retreat is still going to be open and available, but if it does fill up, you could at least work towards that $500. Yeah.
Not to mention, you get team growth in the process. Your team grows, your income grows, you change lives, you know, and it is so true. And I also want to give a plug that you could help your leader go. You know, even if you feel like you're so far away, anything you do right now, adding somebody new, helping them go silver could help get your leader there, because your leader might be closer than you are. So it's like, you know, and it's so fast because they get 225 points if it's a level 1, 150 if it's a level 2, right? It's crazy. And that's just for going silver. And then there's those, each person that they add, they get points for too. So it can happen really fast. Wendy has a brand new level 1. Gosh, I don't know when she joined, if she joined in June or July, but she's this close to qualifying. She's going to qualify.
She joined in July, I think.
Yeah.
July, yeah.
I think she's created like 3 silvers. So, you know, it can go just like that. It's really about finding 3 people and basically telling them they're doing an event. You know, or now it's time for us to get you set up on an event, right, Andrea? Whatever your script is, I think it's perfect. And I mean, let's face it, it's helping them get their products paid for. That's our whole goal, right? Is everybody should not have to pay for these products if they share. So, yeah. Good stuff. So doable, very doable. We would love more people with us. We would love it. So, and if you have questions about that, ask your sponsor. So, okay. Well, thanks so much, Andrea. That was fabulous stuff. I'm excited to. I've already been copying some of what I've seen her do in her chats, and I've felt more in touch with my new level 1s and things like that because of it. So. Great job. We're doing a new ambassador training on Tuesday night. I haven't decided if it's going to be 8 or 8:30. I also haven't decided if it's going to be in a Zoom format, or I'm watching Sandra's tonight. Sandra's doing one. She just announced it. I'm in her chat, and it's going on right now. I might check out what she does because she does good stuff. So, but just watch for that Tuesday night, probably 8 or 8:30 Central Standard Time. We're going to have a new ambassador training. So if you have new ambassadors, definitely get them on there. Even for you to come. So again, you can duplicate what we're doing with it as you grow. So, okay. Can be anybody from since we've done the last new ambassador training. So last few months. Okay. Thanks so much for coming. I hope you all are having fabulous summers and enjoy the last few weeks. And we will see you online, I'm sure. So have a great night.